Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of ExpoTalks. We are the Expo FP. We provide interactive floor plans, and my name is Matt. And in the last episode, we covered some PR-wise matters related to trade shows, and we try to combine two worlds into a strategy. And on today's episode, we have here Ali Farr, head sales of Easy Fairs. Welcome, Ali. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me on board.
I'd like to start asking you, I know it's pretty impossible to list all the possible encounters and objections that you have during this process of the sponsorship sales. But if you could please list to us, some of the most common cases and the ones that you find it more frequently. And of course, not only list that, but if you could please tell us more about how to address them effectively, it would be super cool for us to start. So you can go ahead.
Of course. So I have been working in exhibitions for about 8-10 years, and I've got now have a team of salespeople that work on selling events. Sponsorship is obviously one of the revenue generators for trade shows. And some of the main objections that you hear when you're trying to sell sponsorship, I would say, is price. Sometimes is they have no budget left, or that they don't see a benefit, in doing a sponsorship package. And one of the main ways I always like to handle objections would be to isolate the objection, because it's not always the real objection that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's price, whether it's no budget, whether it's that they don't see the benefit, you always isolate the objection. And that's when you ask the client, the prospect, that, right, okay, so you're telling me that you think the price is too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
If the price was right, would you be willing to go ahead with this? When they say there's no budget, you'll be asking, if you had the budget, would you be going ahead with this package? Or if you saw the benefits in this package, would you be going ahead with this package? And then you can find out the actual reason why they are giving you an objection, objecting to it, basically.
Yeah. I see.
So that's one of the main ways and we in the rest of this conversation, we'll talk about how to take it further from there. But that's my first point. Anytime you hear an objection, you have got to isolate it to make sure that is the real objection. And if that is the case, then you can work on it. Then you can work on a better pricing for them. Then you can find out if they got budgets elsewhere within their digital or within, other, there's always different budgets for every company, right? It's not always marketing budgets. Sometimes there is online budget. Sometimes there is digital budget that they can tap into to use the money. If it is actually the benefits that they're not seeing, then maybe you can get into more details about the benefits of that package, and then make them, really put it in front of them so that they can understand what are the actual benefits of that package.
Is there something on our process that you never get rid of that? Like you always follow such steps like A, B, C, or you adapt constantly to each and every scenario?
No, I would say sponsorships are best sold where they are tailor-made. Okay. So regarding the budgeting, yes, every company will have different pots of or pots of budgets where they allocate some money to trade shows, they allocate some money to marketing, and trade shows are part of marketing for them. Sometimes the events and trade shows goes from their sales budgets, right? So because they got budget for sales, budget marketing, budget for digital advertisement, budget for physical advertisement. And sometimes if the sponsorship package that you are tailoring for this company can take money from each of these pots, and then they'll manage to put the money together to pay for the sponsorship. If it's answering to their digital needs, if it's answering to their marketing needs, if it's answering to their sales needs, they'll be able to tap into these like different budgets or
Mm-hmm.
buckets of money and, gather the money that they need to go ahead with this package.
You share some of successful strategies, or maybe techniques for overcoming such objections?
I would say handling objection is definitely an art, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but then it doesn't begin when the objection is when you're faced with the objection. So there are bases that you need to cover in order to make sure that you don't see you don't get a objection that you have to handle. So if you go
Mm-hmm.
about it the right way, where the fundamentals of this conversation that you're having, of this sales pitch that you want to have, needs to cover what you're actually trying to present. So when you're in discussion with a client or a prospect and that you want to talk about a sponsorship, you have to find out if there is a need for it.
Yeah.
First of all, if there is no need, you're wasting both your time and your client's time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it all starts with, the beginning of your conversation with a client. It's with your questioning, right? So let's say a company has inquired to exhibit with you, and you get on the phone with them. Obviously, as a salesperson, you pick up the phone and you give them a call, and it's really simple, I think. And I always do this myself on my calls, on my meetings, is that I would straight away ask the permission to ask them a number of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once you ask the person for permission, right, they feel respected and they go with it. I've never had a situation where I've asked and they said, no, I'm not going to let you ask me any questions. And it's asking questions to understand their needs, right? So I want to understand the situation. I want to know how I can help you best. So I need to ask you a few questions.
Mm-hmm.
And within your questioning, then you can cover those bases where you ask the client, what is your objective of coming to the show? What are you looking to achieve from exhibiting? What are your main points? What is your person? You're a marketing person, you're a managing
Mm-hmm.
director. What is it that you need done, right, as
Yeah.
part of your plan for the year, that we may be able to help with? And usually, I mean, I would say more than 70-80% of the time, it's, I need to sell more, right? Everybody wants to sell more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, right? So some
That's the whole
companies would
purpose.
some companies would you'll have the 20% where they're big ACATs. They also want to sell more, but they also think, all right, we need to do some brand exposure. We've got this new new product that we're launching. We want to put it out. We've got this new service that we want
Mm-hmm.
to let the market know about. And that's obviously a branding exercise. But more often than
Mm-hmm.
not, is I want to get more sales. I want to get more leads. I want to find the right target audience. And that is not something we can only achieve by having a stand. And that's where you start talking about sponsorship. That's when you talk about, okay, so we need to let the market know you're going to be there, because it's gone the days where people just put up a stand at a show and
Yeah.
they just hope to see the right people. People are busy. People don't just turn up at a show. You guys are working on interactive floor plans, right?
Yeah.
Visitors come to the show. They don't have all day long to just walk around the whole show. They
Mm-hmm.
plan their visits. When they're at the show, they want to go and see the right people that they were thinking of. It's the same thing for me. When I go to show, see every stand at a show, I plan my visit. Therefore, the more I see a name of a company, a brand, a logo, the more I'm curious to find out who they are. And that's where sponsorship comes to play. So, you want more people to come and see you at the show. Therefore, your bubbly staff will be able to get their contact information and talk to them about their projects. Brilliant. Let's put your name out there.
Mm-hmm.
And without even selling sponsorship, you are selling sponsorship when you talk about these things.
Yeah,
Now,
definitely.
you find companies that have the budget, and you have companies that don't have the budget, and they will go and find the budget because they're like, wow, that's really interesting. Yes, I did not know that I have to do some pre-marketing, pre-show
Mm-hmm.
marketing, right? And you as the expert, now you got to be expert of your product that you're selling. But I would say for
Yeah.
trade show salespeople, your expertise is exhibitions and how they work and how the visitor how the visitor behavior is. And that is something you can share with your prospects. So I would say, yes, you'll find a lot of objections, but then if you cover your bases from the beginning of your conversation with them, you even put them towards a path of, yeah, I did want to stand, but now I'm thinking I also need to do something else.
I can imagine that there might be a way or ways to, kind of increase the effectiveness of your actions dealing with your customers. So any tips like about avoiding such mistakes and pitfalls?
One of the main things, as I said in the beginning of my conversation, is taking a no for an answer, right?
Mm,
As soon as somebody gives you an objection and then taking that and going back to your boss and saying, yeah, I told them, they said it's too expensive, right? Did you
yeah.
isolate the objection? Are you sure that is the right to do it? Are you sure you've, digged a little bit deeper to find out what it is that they are actually maybe afraid of, right? It's like maybe it's the ROI that they're afraid of, and then you can show them proof, you can show them reports. But
Mm-hmm.
my main thing in terms of what I don't want people to do or what I would rather people do is to be face to face with their prospects, right? It makes a massive difference. As trade show people, we sell face to face. We don't sell space. We don't sell shell scheme. We don't sell
Yeah.
trade shows. We sell the face to face experience,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to be able to advertise it ourselves by going out to their offices, showing them how being face to face with them will make a huge difference. You can cover much more ground when you're out in their office. So I've always said to my team that, okay, if you want to sell sponsorship, you will have to be face to face with your clients. They love it. Companies love it when you go out to their office, when you go to see them, spend that 10-15 minutes at the beginning of the conversation to learn about their business, find out about the hurts, find out
Mm-hmm.
what problems they have, compliment them on what they're doing amazingly, do your research, find out about your prospects before you even contact them, before you even organize a meeting. So one thing I would always say is get face to face with your clients and prospects.
So we would just say that it's easier a face-to-face meeting and persuade somebody that you're right there with you and discussing their business and trying to understand better their sponsorship deals. That's what you say.
Undoubtedly. Not only you'll be able to understand them better, they will be able to understand you better, right? When you're
Uh-huh.
face to face with someone, you can talk about the different issues. You're there now, right? You're in their office. They can see you valuing them by going to their office, first of
Mm-hmm.
all. Second of all, they will be able to talk with you freely and openly. You can see their gestures, you can see because there's a lot of body language in sales. Anybody who is in sales should be reading
Yeah.
books about body language. If they don't, they're going to be missing out, right? Now, I would say always get face to face, because being face to face will help you understand their problem better, understand what they're looking for, and you'll be able to explain better, right? If you've got a
Mm-hmm.
presentation ready, talk through the presentation. When it's Zoom and Teams call are like amazing, they help a lot. But, and I would say that, with some clients, you can't get to their office. I got clients like north of UK that is very difficult for us to arrange, go all the way and come back. But we organize
Yeah.
an hour Teams meeting, and then we'll just go to a conference meeting room and act as though it is face to face. I mean, it is kind of face to face, and you have the
Yeah.
time to actually discuss. Whereas when you're just a voice in the phone, it's a lot more difficult to, being able to persuade someone of, the benefits of a product. Whereas when you're seeing their face, they're seeing your face, they can see your enthusiasm, they can see your gestures, you can see their gestures, then the conversation can flow a lot better.
And speaking of interaction, how do you get information about the attendees to suggest them the package they need?
Okay, so a number of ways. I mean, you've got, when you run a trade event, you are aware of what ACAT companies are, exhibiting with you. You know of the big companies that are at the show exhibiting. So you have some sort of some intelligence about your clients, as you should.
Mm.
Um, one of the ways of doing the prospecting, and running this opportunity by, first of all, your bigger accounts, your bigger companies that you're working with, because the ACATs always are out there to do more branding. Coca-Cola never stops branding. McDonald's
Yeah.
never stopped doing their branding exercise. So does other ACATs, other big companies in their own markets. They won't stop doing their branding exercises. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one way of going about it. The other way is obviously researching your clients. So being aware of where your companies are. So with us, I have my team usually looking at their clients. So everybody has a number of accounts that they manage and they're constant accounts. So we let our customers know that we can promote
Uh-huh.
whatever is new, right? And we as a team, we look after our accounts by checking their website, and suddenly you see, hey, we've got this new product that we launched, okay, on a website, and that is your cue to pick up the phone and have the conversation and say, hey, I saw this new product you launched on your website. Would you like to have a website banner on our website? We've got this many thousands of people coming to the website. Shows happening in 2 months. Would you like us to, include this in like some of our newsletter, emails going out to database and all that? So it's always keeping in touch, relationship building. That's something I don't think we've touched upon this in this conversation. But if you have the relationship with your clients, if you've built a rapport with your clients and that you're constantly in touch, right? Have the rule
Mm-hmm.
of every 2 months, have a contact with your prospects, with your clients, not prospects. I'm sorry, I keep saying prospects, but have a contact, a touch point with your clients every 2 months to be aware of what they're doing. First of all, you strengthen the relationship you have with this client, knowing they know that you're always in touch, always, checking them out, hello, how are you? How are you doing? How's your day going? Just having that little
Yeah.
relationship, little rapport with them, finding out about their family, I've got clients that tell me about their children, about their, take a note, put it on your calendar. This person's coming back from their holiday at this time. Let me give them a
Yeah.
call, right?
All
Follow
the
up, ask
details
them.
counts.
Yeah, so the little details will count. That does count, and then
Mm-hmm.
they will find you as someone they can have a conversation with, not someone that they will try to avoid a call from. And it always know that they will put the phone down with a smile, because you always bubbly, and you have that personality as a salesperson, right?
Yeah.
Um, and within those conversations, you can always ask, what's new? What's happening with you guys? Have you launched anything new? Do you want me to help you with anything? Is there any new objective that you have for the year that I can maybe help with? And from this rapport building, from this relationship building, a lot will come out. You'll be the first person that they will call up when their boss says, all right, we need to do a branding exercise. We need more
Yeah.
people in this market to find out about us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you see the benefit of the report building, as well as it's customer service, customer centricity. You got to make sure that you retain those clients, because you keep that relationship going. Then they'll come the next year, they'll come the next year. 1 year your show might not have the results they wanted, but because they have the relationship with you, they'd want to still support you as the salesperson, not even the company, right? It's not even
Yeah.
them trying to support the companies. Sometimes them trying to support you as the salesperson to come back to that event, because they've got the report, because you've been to their office, because you have cared for them.
Recently, I think it's safe to say recently, because 10 years ago we didn't have such. I think you can imagine what I'm gonna ask about. But recently we have this, AI thing everywhere.
I
And
don't know what you're talking about. I'm saying, I'm
oh
saying.
yeah. But now we
Yes,
have that
sure.
everywhere, and people are using it like in a very creatively way. So I was wondering, You, in your experience, is there something that you see, envision in AI that could help you in such sponsorship sales that matter?
Actually, I think artificial intelligence is very helpful
Mm-hmm.
in terms of, helping you creating your proposals or even getting ideas. There are things that people, I mean, you call it artificial intelligence. It's actually the intelligence of the world, right? It
Yeah, they're learning with
captures,
us.
yeah, so it captures every data that has ever gone online, and it basically brings it together when you ask a certain question. So using it creatively, try and find new solutions, right? New even you could, and it's a great practice, to go on it and try and search new sponsorship ideas, right? Crazy sponsorship ideas. And I've not done it. Okay, I've not done it, but you can try, and it's quite a funny
Yeah.
experience. I have used it, to be honest, to get some literature. It helps really well. I mean, you always have to obviously change it, and use it in the right way, but you don't always have the best way of putting certain words together,
Mm-hmm.
and it can help you with that. And I want to share this actually. I was looking at writing a proposal recently, and I've been writing proposals for over 8 years, 10 years now.
Yeah.
But I was like, let me see what AI's got to offer. And looking through this, it just came up with this, and it's not like AI came up with this idea. Obviously, somebody else had this idea. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
for to sell. And I have a client who's looking to do a branding exercise at the show, and they wanted to do something physical, but they want to see a digital result from this physical sponsorship. So lanyards, obviously, at a trade show, it's the most commonly sponsored item. And I've put this on AI to see what sort of wording is there for a lanyard sponsorship proposal.
Mm-hmm.
And it shared the fact that a sponsor can print a QR code on the lanyard, and that can be scanned by mobile phones, where the data
Interesting.
can be captured digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sure some of the people that are maybe listening to this have heard of this, or knew about this, or maybe they didn't, but it was a great idea. And I've not seen it myself. I go to many trade shows every year, and I see many different lanyards. People have different designs of lanyards
Yeah.
that you can open from the back, or undo your card from there. There's so many different ways from that you could design a lanyard. But what you print doesn't always have to be a logo, it doesn't always have to be a message. It can be a barcode, it can be a QR code that could then
Mm-hmm.
lead the visitors into some interactive page, or I don't know, augmented reality page, whatever it is. Yeah, but that was really interesting for me. I learned that, suggested it to the client. They were like, wow, this is a great idea, we didn't think we could do that. And I was like, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
So that's sounding positive. I'm going to touch wood. They haven't come back to me yet, but we got a meeting next week.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes with that one.
Using it as a tool, not like, okay, robots are going to take our jobs or anything like that.
No, no, not at
Yeah.
all.
I'd like to know more about something ordinary, like some unusual features of sponsorship package that you ever sold. If you have something to share.
That's an interesting question, because I'm sure there's extraordinary stuff that people have sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
I can't recall everything, but one of the interesting ones that I saw was the urinals in the toilets, right?
Oh,
So the
wow.
men's toilet urinals were sponsored, and there is like there's like a little something that is there, and it was like they had created a goalpost that you're supposed to shoot at, and it was really interesting. So you're having fun while you're taking a wee basically, which was quite extraordinary. I did remember the brand name for a while, but then obviously I don't remember it right now. That was a few years ago. And one that we're trying to sell is sponsorship of the bins at the show. Like
Uh,
there's bins at the event,
Wow.
every event. And yeah, we've gotten a sponsor looking to sponsor the bins because last year they were at the show. They saw so many of them everywhere,
Hmm.
and a few of them were around, one of their competitors. And they're like, are they going to be about the same area? We'd like to sponsor them to make sure our brand is where our competitors are. So yeah, that's what they're doing. So I
Yeah.
would share that with you at the moment.
Everyone listening to this right now, considering some sponsorship deals, think about toilets, think about bins. Yeah, that might be that might be something to include.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, thank you very much, Ali, for joining us today. That was super amazing. I loved it. It's a super
Thank you
cool,
very
really
much.
interesting. Yeah,
Thanks, man. It was really interesting to have the conversation. Thank you for having me.
absolutely. That was great. This was our second Expo Talks. Stay tuned for the next episode and see y'all there. Bye bye. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.